Hey kids, it's Dave Clark here. That's right, Dave Clark. Remember me? I used to have the band in the 60s? Yeah, that's true. This is my screener, the McCloskey 616. It's made in Ontario. It's made out of Canadian steel. It's powered by a 6-cylinder 3056E Caterpillar engine, but it's really a Perkins engine, which is made in England. So it's a Perkins that's painted yellow and looks like a cat.
And what company do you own?
Oh, I own this little company right here. It's called Tip Top Soil in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I've been doing this all my life. Basic startup procedure for my 616 McCloskey is obviously we check the oil every morning. It's just a dipstick. Oil is perfect. We service our oil every 150 hours. Another thing I like to check is this is my air filter. At the bottom of my air filter I have a little rubber air inspector filter thing.
Very technical, yes.
And yeah, if there's any dust that comes out of there, it tells you there's dust in here. I also have a fuel filter water separator here. It has an inspection glass on the bottom. Always have a look at it to make sure there's no sediment or water in there. That's essentially what that tells you. I always like to check my fuel supply as well as my radiator, which is on the other side of the building, or the screener. But we'll have a look as we go. This is the ramp where you come up and actually feed the machine. It has what they call a 5-yard hopper.
So you dump the dirt
Inside
up in
of
here.
there. Oh, yeah,
Okay.
we'll show you from the other side. It's pretty easy. This is basically underneath the machine. This is where the final product ends up on my production belt, which ends up the other end. If you look underneath the screen, you can see where the material falls through the screen and onto this belt. We have a 1/2 inch screen. So any material larger than 1/2 inch is considered tailings or reject. Anything under 1/2 inch, which is finished product, is what we sell.
And what are these brushes on top for, Dave?
They help to keep the screen itself clean. When you get into muddy material like we have wet conditions right now, that will help to keep the screen from plugging. That's the
So those bristles just poke through the little holes in the screen and knock it back out.
It's a mesh screen. There's basically 2 types of screener. There's a trommel, which is what this screener is. Or the other type of screener is what they call a harp wire screener. This barrel here spins, and any material that's smaller than 1/2 inch makes it through the trommel and onto the production belt. The other screener has a vibrating deck. And you're actually screening loam through piano wire that are spaced 1/2 inch apart.
So any of the reject here would fall into this pit.
Correct. This is where the stuff, anything that won't go through the screen comes out this end, which is our tailings. And we just recycle our tailings as best we can. To prevent large rocks and car engines and things that are really large, we step way back. You'll see that the actual first screen that if you look at those bars up there, that's what they call a 4-inch grizzly. So rocks that are bigger than 4 to 6 inches won't make it through there to get into the screener. So the overburden comes off this side here. Yes, we have had car engines. I always like to make sure my rad is clean. It's not plugged with any grass and things because it does suck things up. Here's my fuel tank here underneath. I see I have half a tank, which is enough for today, which is fine. And yeah, let's go start it up. Everything looks good. I also have, this is also a, what is it, ISO 2001 safety machine. I don't know, we're very safe, let's put it that way. And in all four corners of my machine, I have an emergency stop switch. So if any time something didn't look right, I could stop the machine instantly. It'll just turn the engine off. It's just a safety thing. We never ever enter this machine when it's running. You have to turn it off to do any service or maintenance or anything like that on it. It's a very dangerous machine. This is our end of our stacker belt. Once the material's gone through, it will make a pile here of our finished product. Here's some other finished product that we've done in the past. As with most diesel equipment, it has a safety lockout switch, which is just the electrical switch that prevents the electricity from traveling anywhere. I got batteries on one side and everything else on the other, so it just turns off the electricity. We know our oil is good. On a cold morning, I would use a preheat, but it's not cold this morning, so it should just start right away. That fan you hear starting is my hydraulic oil cooler. And here we go with the start. What have you done to my loader? I have no idea why that didn't start.
Did you pull the...
No, I think I pulled it out. Because I've had it running today already once.
And the hydraulic tank's up here with just a simple sight glass right there as well. And Dave's just gonna walk around and check, make sure the buttons pop back out.
I gotta go load the truck.
And it's got just basic gauges, just RPM, your oil pressure, RPM oil pressure, and your water temperature, which is a little bit hard to see. It's hiding in the shadow here. They won't move until you actually have it running. As soon as you flip your master switch, you've got a voltage.